When I was 16, I made $56,000 from one video, and since I was 14, I've made a little over $250,000 on the internet, doing surveys, Snapchat, brand deals, sales, and now my own agency, which I scaled to a $30,000 a month at 21 years old. But the real story isn't the wins. It's that I spent most of those years getting paid completely wrong for skills that I already had, and getting laughed at the entire time. So this is the whole story of how it actually happened, where I got trapped, and what I would do differently if I were starting today. Okay, so the first thing that I ever posted online was actually me playing guitar. 5th grade, I had a YouTube channel. I posted covers of me singing, me playing the guitar, little tutorials, me trying to teach people to play chords that I barely even knew how to play. And honestly, I genuinely loved it. It's something that my mom and I did. She taught me how to use a camera, taught me how to edit videos, and I thought it was the coolest thing that I had personally ever made. But kids at my school found it. They'd pull up my videos in class, they'd play them out loud and laugh in my face. Not once, but pretty much all throughout middle school. And the thing that nobody tells you about posting online, especially when you're a kid, the entire internet is global, obviously, but your actual audience is the kids in your hometown. So obviously I didn't stop posting. You're watching this now. I just stopped posting things that I loved. So hold on to this because it comes back. So when I was 14, I really wanted this thing called a onewheel. All of my friends would bike and rollerblade around to go hang out with friends. I obviously was too young to drive, and the thing was $1,000, and I knew my parents were not gonna pay for that, and no one really hires a 14-year-old. So I found the single worst way to make money online. Online surveys. Okay, I did genuinely hundreds of these, like actually hundreds, and they were paying me maybe like a few cents at a time for months until I had $1,000. But I actually ended up obviously buying the onewheel, and then I did the thing that actually mattered, which I didn't really realize at the time. I then bought a camera. I started doing videography around my hometown, Sylvania, Ohio, just one-off gigs, small jobs, literally video shoots for like $100, but I would ride the onewheel to these shoots. So, even at 14, my entire business fit on one wheel. So it was COVID 2020. I was watching this podcast, and David Dobrik was talking about how big the social media opportunity was. And this was also when the Hype House was a thing, all of the, crazy TikTok world. But in his podcast, he talked about how Snapchat was paying creators millions of dollars a day. And I just remember thinking like, oh my gosh, this is my chance. Like, I need to be on this today. So I started posting super short videos on Snapchat, constantly learning what was working by watching what was working. And there was a limit on how many videos that you could post pretty much every single hour. I literally made it my mission to post the maximum amount of videos every hour, every day, to get as much content onto the algorithm as possible to get the highest possible chance of actually hitting some sort of jackpot. And then one video paid me $56,000, and I was only 16 years old. And that's a full yearly salary where I'm from one video. And my family didn't believe the number at all until they saw it land in my Venmo account. And honestly, I'm not even sure I believed it until I saw it in my Venmo account. But that was the moment that my brain literally broke open, because if one video can pay a salary, then content itself isn't a hobby. It's an asset class. So after the Snapchat money, I started posting about how I did it on TikTok. And people were obviously extremely interested. And that interest started turning into UGC deals and affiliate marketing jobs. And I would basically post about different apps that people could use to make money online and earn commissions on these app downloads. And honestly, they were really, really high at the time. I had days that would pay like literally anywhere from like $5,000 to $7,000. And I had one UGC client at the time paying me, I think it was like $4,000 a month just to make TikTok videos for their ads. And that was basically, throughout my entire high school career. That was like my after school job. And unfortunately, like the same thing that happened in 5th grade, kids kind of making fun of me, kids were still making fun of me. Like, they were screenshotting my videos, sending my ads into group chats to laugh at them. And yeah, the videos were cringy, like I was trying too hard, whatever. But what they didn't know is that these videos, these ads, they were literally making me thousands of dollars a month, and they were laughing at them. And my friends at the time asked if it bothered me. And I mean, my response was that they were still watching. Like, every view counted in my eyes. And honestly, the harder part wasn't people laughing. It was that once people found out about, me making money, and like really good money at 16, like, obviously it sounds like a dream, and parts of it were just genuinely hard in ways that I couldn't explain to anyone, because who's gonna feel bad for you about anything? Who's gonna wanna pay you back for anything? So from the outside, 16-year-old me had it all figured out, but here's what actually happened next. I spent the next 4 years getting paid completely wrong, and you'll see what I mean by this later. So when I got older, I went all in on videography. I financed a $7,700 video mentorship at 18 years old. I had just gotten my first credit card, and my credit score was really low, so not sure how it got fully approved, but that was the first thing that I ever put on credit for something with zero immediate return. Was the scariest purchase of my life, but I gave him no objections. I just went all in, and on paper it worked. Like, I signed my first $10,000 retainer deal, and I was filming college football playoffs, artists and DJs at music festivals, pro athletes. Like, I was 18, 19 years old, meeting incredible people. But here's what nobody saw with all of that. Like, I was so young and so eager to sign all of these clients that I priced everything completely wrong and signed contracts that locked me in for years. Like, I also almost got sued once for a deliverable that didn't meet my clients' expectations. But, my clients were getting amazing work for insanely cheap. And I was pouring all of my creativity into other people's visions, and they were just getting way more out of the contract than I had ever scoped. And at times, like, I felt completely trapped. Like, I was skilled, I was busy, but I was somehow not really making any money. And that was the first time I learned the lesson. Even though I couldn't really name it yet, like, being good is not the same thing as being positioned. Then I did what everyone online tells you to do. I learned high ticket sales. I paid a mentor, grinded it out, got on an offer, and I did that for about 9 months. And to be fair, it was the first time that I was making a couple $1,000s a month completely online, like working from my computer, working from anywhere, having that freedom. And the freedom was real, and it fully opened my eyes. But here's the moment that ended it. I was in person for a webinar launch for the offer that I was closing on. And I was watching the whole team work, and the offer hit its first $100,000 mark. And we're all celebrating. Everyone's so happy. I'm standing in the room equally as excited, but also doing the math. Like, I wasn't even getting 5% of that $100,000. I was getting 5% of the deals that I personally closed. And that skill was mine, but the position was his. And once I saw that, I couldn't unsee it. Every single model that I've ever tried, freelance videography, agency retainers, commission sales, like, they all had the same ceiling built in. I was always the most replaceable part of that machine, and it was always someone else's machine. And so I decided right there that I was done building other people's things. Here's what was funny. Everyone that I sold for had a massive personal brand, and that was the asset, right? Like, that was what was actually printing the money. And I'd been consuming content for years about, how everyone needs to actually build one. And I realized that I was the one person in the building with every single skill required to do it, and just had no brand. So I started posting about me, my business, my life, a 20-year-old trying to figure out how to make 10 grand in a month, not like any guru shit, just documenting everything. And honestly, the videos got traction very fast. And the most interesting part was the questions that I was getting asked. Like, nobody was asking me about sales. Everyone was asking me about, how do I make money from my content? Like, how do I build a brand like yours? Who does your content? Do you film your own stuff? Do you edit your own stuff? And then it escalated. A creator with over 1 million followers, I believe, doing $3 to $4 million a month, asked to get me on a call so that I could audit his Instagram, him asking me. And here's the full circle part that I still think about to this day. The offer that I used to close deals on for commission, I run their entire content strategy now. The same people who paid me 5% of my own deals now pay me to drive the entire machine. And nothing about my skills changed between those two moments. My position did. I'm 21 now. I scaled my agency to a $30,000 a month after only operating for about 3 months. I moved to Miami full-time. I live in my dream apartment on the 42nd floor downtown, literally the apartment that was on my vision board. I work with founders making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, some who have exited companies for millions. I'm not saying that to flex, okay? I'm saying it because the gap between sales girl getting 5% me and this all is about 3 months. And the difference wasn't working harder. I was already working extremely hard. The difference was finally sitting in the right seat. So let me explain the seat. If I were starting today, I wouldn't start by trying to become a videographer or an editor as the end goal, okay? Those are entry-level skills. They're the door, they're not the house. The actual skill, the one that pays, is knowing why content works. And here's the thing that most people don't really realize. Like, if you spend hours a day consuming content, you already have the raw material for this, right? Like, you know within maybe 2-3 seconds whether a video is actually good. You have taste. Taste is typically the hardest part to teach, and most business owners have none. So the skill stack looks like this. You learn to see why videos win. Really study it, not just scroll. You learn the hands-on layer, filming, editing, formats, then research, ideation, scripting, then how a personal brand actually compounds. And eventually, you're not the person executing one piece. You're the person who owns the entire strategy, the research, the concepts, the scripts, the creative direction, the testing, the whiteboard. My week now, I wake up and check that every client's content went out. I make sure that my editors are up to speed. I write and send scripts. I review the research that my AI agents pulled overnight, and I talk about new ideas with my clients. That is the job. The person who owns the strategy is the person the business cannot function without. And that's who gets paid at the end of the day. And that's who scales with a team instead of with their own hours. And I'm gonna say this directly because I wish that someone had said this to me, okay? If you're a girl, with a marketing degree, doing some unpaid internship, hoping that somebody gives you a seat, at that Bath and Body Works job or that, Aeropostale job, you already have the eye, okay? There are business owners who would pay you more than the corporate job ever will for someone who actually lives on these apps and take over their content. And if you're where I was, the videographer, the editor, the sales rep, good at the work and capped by the model, the cap isn't your skill, it's your seat. Pick one skill, just one, okay? At 16, I had one obvious rare skill. I knew how to make money on Snapchat when almost nobody did. And instead of doubling down on that, I chased 6 other things at once. And I was stacking so many income streams. And obviously stacking income streams sounds smart, but it's actually just dividing your focus by 6. Like, when you put everything into one thing, you might make much less at first, right? But you'll scale 10 times further, and then you'll actually have peace with yourself. So anyways, that is my story. My name is Ellie Snow. I'm 21 years old. I just moved here to Miami, Florida, and I'm not really sure what my story is gonna look like 5 years from now, but I guess you'll find out. And that guitar YouTube channel that everyone used to make fun of me for, you're watching it right now.